protein is an important trouble of our weight reduction plan, and there are 4 varieties of proteins which you need to consume, and 6 which you want to keep away from in any respect. Costs, however. No longer all proteins are created identical in terms of these who have kidney disease. The kidneys are answerable for filtering out waste from the body, especially waste. This is produced while protein is broken down. That is an exceedingly crucial function. The intake of the incorrect forms of protein can also greater pressure at the kidneys that could reason the worsening of modern-day damage and growth in blood urea ranges and in growth in the acid load in the frame. Kidney ailment might also additionally development greater short due to this improvement, but this doesn't mean which you want to truly abstain from ingesting protein because of the fact your frame calls for it so that you can keep your muscle corporations in right state of affairs to promote recuperation and to hold your energy ranges excessive. The trick is to pick the right sources of protein that reduce the quantity of hard work that your kidneys need to do and supply the vitamins that your body dreams in cutting-edge day submit. I will communicate 4 proteins which may be extraordinarily superb for kidney health, similarly to 6 proteins that you want to steer clean of. If you want to guard your kidney function, we are able to. Moreover, waft over the way to prepare dinner, those proteins, how hundreds of every one to eat, and a few beneficial guidelines for getting high-quality devices which may be sold on your community stores. Ensure to stay attentive until the very prevent. Because of the truth, there may be an advantage tip that could enhance the health of your kidneys through way of the usage of a easy addiction that you do each day. Now allows begin with the aid of way of speak me, approximately one of the protein resources. This is the least harmful to kidneys and consequently the cleanest, the egg whites from people who are experiencing kidney problems. Egg whites are most of the maximum beneficial assets of protein. They provide a protein that has a very immoderate organic price, because of this, that they consist of all the important amino acids that your body want, within the high-quality portions that it requires. Egg whites, but most effective, incorporate approximately 10 milligrams of phosphorus, steady with big egg white, that could be a substantial quantity, a bargain much less than the 86 milligrams of phosphorus, which may be contained in an entire egg. Phosphorus is a mineral that people with renal illness need to pay specific interest to because of the reality. Whilst the kidneys aren't capable of clean more phosphorus, it accumulates and starts off evolved to create problems with the bones and the coronary heart. Egg whites, in evaluation to crimson meats, embody a decreased quantity of saturated fats, in addition, contributing to the prevention of cardiovascular disease, which is a big fear among kidney sufferers, not unusual. Every egg white consists of about 3.6 grams of high-quality protein, making it a notable supply of protein for retaining muscle safety without being an excessive amount of in your kidneys to cope with at a few degree within the root of an afternoon. What number of egg whites do you eat? Whether or not, or no longer you have tried the use of them as a deliverer of protein, please permit me realize, in phrases of education, it's miles endorsed, that 3 to 4 egg whites be consumed on a each day basis, with the satisfactory approach being boiling or steaming in desire to frying, retaining the protein easy, and fending off the addition of lipids, which may be damaging to your kidneys, is accomplished with the useful resource of boiling or steaming it for a sizable type of delicious alternatives. You can use egg whites into pretty a few materials, which encompass kidney-friendly stir-fries, handcrafted wraps or porridge. Alternatively, you have to exercise caution while including cheese or salted spices on your diet, because of the fact they might increase the portions of phosphorus and sodium to your weight reduction plan, every of which may be horrible to the fitness of your kidneys. Selecting the right eggs is every other essential step. Choose herbal eggs that have been reared on pasture. Each time it's far viable to gather this, because of the truth, they generally contain an entire lot, plenty much less components, and have superior nutritional profiles. It's far important to select liquid egg whites from cartons that do not consist of any components or preservatives, if you intend to use them. Have you ever located a difference within the first rate of eggs, which might be natural in choice, to the ones which might be conventional? I am pretty interested in taking note of your thoughts on this. Remember, the use of egg whites through kidney sufferers is frequently found by means of the use of some common mistakes. The primary trouble you ought to do is chorus from consuming the yolks, because of the truth they contain a fantastic amount of phosphorus that can position to pressure to your kidneys. Egg whites that have been fried in butter or oil include unwanted fats, which encompass saturated and trans fats, which may be unfavorable to the fitness of the kidneys and the coronary heart. Moreover, taking raw egg whites on preservatives, eventually will result in a deficit of biotin that could be a nutrient that is important for the metabolism of strength. Therefore, it's miles perfect to cook dinner. dinner them truly. First, I've observed huge modifications in energy levels and laboratory markers in patients who replace meat with egg whites, 3 to 4 instances in keeping with week that is based totally on my experience as a medical doctor who has worked with kidney sufferers for some of years. This one small exchange has the potential to make a wonderful impact. Which opportunity resources of protein have you added in your weight loss plan? You are welcome to present your experience with us. Skip directly to the subsequent problem. Rely that may be a plant-based totally protein that is so clean and creamy that it could surprise you with its advantages. It's tofu. A message from you may be notably favored in advance than we hold. From what vantage element are you searching, and which of your fitness desires is maximum vital to you at this 2D? It's far important that you be a part of this channel and permit notifications in case you location excessive price on preserving your fitness strength and independence. Have you ever determined that this type of stuff is truly useful to you, to your adventure? If this is the case, please leave a remark under. If so, provide a 0. Due to your feedback, future motion pictures will be better. The usage of tofu, that's a plant primarily based totally without a doubt. Protein is related to numerous advantages for kidney sufferers. A serving of tofu, that is half of a cup in duration, gives approximately 10 grams of protein. It is in tremendous manner to fulfill your everyday requirements. It is important to be aware that it pleasant consists of about 121 milligrams of phosphorus. That may be a considerably smaller quantity. The bulk of animal proteins have the importance of this couldn't be overstated, due to the fact an excessive amount of phosphorus can hasten the damage to the kidneys and lift the threat of cardiovascular problems in step with studies completed at the University of California. Tofu contains a high attention of isoflavones and antioxidants, which might be materials that have been established to prevent infection in kidney tissues. It is viable to enhance kidney characteristic and reduce the improvement of the sickness by means of reducing infection. Moreover, tofu is straightforward to digest and does now not create a large stress at the kidneys from a filtration attitude. Have you covered plant-based totally proteins into your diet together with tofu at any point? Depart a announcement underneath describing the manner in that you put together dinner. Tofu can be cherished in quite a few methods, relying on the shape of tofu, which you pick as a result of its versatility. Mild or silky tofu may be effortlessly covered into your eating regimen. It is able to be used as a substitute for eggs in scrambled situations or introduced to smoothies. Be careful to apply a low-sodium soy sauce alternative, even as baking or stir-frying agency. Tofu, this can help you keep away from consuming too much salt that might bring about a rise in blood stress and make renal problems even greater. Excessive on the way to fulfill the frame's necessities for protein without overburdening the kidneys. The encouraged serving size is approximately 1/100 of a cup in keeping with day strash, which ought to be ingested approximately 3 times in line with week. While shopping for tofu, it's miles encouraged to select out manufacturers which might be natural and do no longer embody genetically modified organisms. Those manufacturers generally have less components and chemical substances. It's far important to persuade clean-up pre-marinated tofu products because of the fact they often encompass excessive stages of monosodium and sodium glutamate, each of which have the capability to result in extended blood pressure and fluid retention. Have you ever checked out the labels of processed elements like tofu or awesome food to appearance if there were any hidden phosphate components? What are your thoughts on attentively studying labels? Please share them with me in phrases of tofu. There are mistakes which can be often made. It must no longer be consumed with processed sauces, which is probably heavy in sodium or sugar. Because of the truth, doing so makes the kidney terrific benefits of the food null and void. Deep frying tofu, additionally, outcomes in the appearance of oxidized lipids, which are destructive to the fitness of the kidneys and the coronary heart closing. However, no longer least, it's far critical to constantly have a look at the issue lists of tofu products carefully, due to the truth. Some of them consist of phosphate additions that growth the phosphorus load. Over the course of my 15 years of revel in strolling with kidney patients, I absolutely have determined that tofu has turned out to be a dependable supply of protein that satisfies dietary requirements without setting an immoderate stress at the kidneys. When you have not but experimented with seeking to replace some of your animal protein with tofu, this will be a tremendous time to remember doing so. Which proteins derived from plant life have verified to be powerful for you? It might be outstanding if you may get in contact with me. Following that, we are able to shift our interest to a protein that comes from the ocean and has a diffused flavor but is quite useful to the health of the kidneys. The tilapia. Tilapia is a fish that has an inclination to be low in fat and gives a high-quality supply of protein for people who've kidney problems. There are around 170 milligrams of phosphorus and about 22 grams of protein in line with 100 grams of fish, making it a low-fats and low-phosphorus food. The immoderate protein degree allows beautify muscle electricity and tissue repair, while the low phosphorus content material enables lessen the mineral constructing that kidney sufferers need to keep away from. Moreover, Kidney sufferers want to prevent mineral buildup. Tilapia is likewise clean to digest because it has a mild taste and a lean profile. This makes it a lousy lot less probably to cause digestive pain. That is a few difficulty that a few renal sufferers go through once they devour big proteins. Similarly, tilapia is a good deliverer of selenium and nutrition, B12 elements, which might be critical for the general metabolism of the kidneys and for reducing the quantity of oxidative stress that the kidneys revel in. Have you ever taken into consideration? Embody fish in your healthy eating plan. On the way to make it extra kidney quality, Departo observation below at the side of your desired recipes. It is counseled that 1 to 2 servings be ate up on a weekly foundation, with every serving collectively with round 4 ounces. The approaches of cooking are quite good size cooking strategies, including grilling, baking or steaming are best for preserving a mild and kidney excellent fish dish. Steer smooth of breading and sauces, which might be rich considering that they contribute additional sodium and horrible fats, enhancing the flavor of tilapia through combining it with smooth herbs like parsley or lemon zest, can be achieved without increasing the quantity of salt or potassium inside the dish. Which technique of cooking fish do you make a decision upon? It's far exciting to understand whether or not you are making common use of sparkling herbs. Search for clean or frozen tilapia that comes from farms that have a remarkable recognition and adhere to stringent great requirements. Whilst you are searching out tilapia, steer easy of imports from any vendors which might be regarded to have inferior safety necessities in order to gain advanced nutrients and a decreased degree of pollutants. It's miles encouraged to eat wild-stuck tilapia or those that have been accredited by way of Manner of America, Department of Agriculture. Which sort of fish do you often purchase, wild-stuck or farm-raised? In terms of exquisite, your shopping behavior may make a huge difference. Tilapia products, which have been breaded or fried, should be avoided in any respect. Fees due to the fact they contain excessive fat and sodium. Moreover, the intake of tilapia with immoderate potassium aspects like as mashed potatoes may also cause an increase in potassium intake that exceeds the desirable limits. Consequently, it's far prudent to exchange the kind of detailed dish. Because of this, as a scientific physician who has worked with kidney sufferers for a huge quantity of time, I actually have had the opportunity to have examined that lean fish like tilapia offer a brilliant deliver of protein without the metabolic pressure that is associated with pork. Consequently, patients are able to hold their power and beautify their test readings without seeing a decline in their renal feature. In case you are following a renal food regimen, what's your enjoy with fish? Your feedback is welcome down below. You need to live with me. Because of the reality, the closing can take you through surprise. Every of them has a massive have an effect on. And there is a fantastic opportunity that as a minimum considered one among them is something that you have in no way encountered in advance. Then now allows talk about a grain-based protein supply that is regularly neglected, irrespective of the truth, that it is pretty splendid for the health of the kidneys. It's far quinoa kidney patients ought to in fact keep in mind. Encompass quinoa kidney patients ought to in fact keep in mind. Encompass quinoa kidney patients ought to in fact keep in mind. Encompass quinoa kidney patients ought to in fact keep in mind. Encompass quinoa kidney patients ought to in fact keep in mind. Encompass quinoa kidney patients in their weight loss program. Due to the truth, it's miles a grain primarily based protein that is quite sturdy. This protein is taken into consideration to be a whole protein because of this, that it includes all 9 of the vital amino acids that the body is unable to make on its very own. The reality that quinoa consists of around 8 grams of protein in line with cup of cooked quinoa makes it an fantastic choice for a plant-based weight loss plan, for the cause that potassium and phosphorus are minerals. Renal sufferers want to carefully control. Quinoa has a lower potassium and phosphorus content material than the bulk of legumes, with the resource of facilitating normal bowel actions and wholesome digestion. Its excessive fiber content material additionally lets in restrict the buildup of uramic pollution inside the frame. That is a few unique gain of fiber consumption. Have you ever experimented with quinoa as an alternative for protein? It'd be beneficial if you could provide your comments on the manner it tastes and the way smooth. It's miles to put together the endorsed amount of cooked quinoa to devour on a ferd. Each day foundation is among half of a cup and 1 cup, and it ought to instead be had as a part of a slight lunch or dinner, at the same time as blended with greens that have been steamed or tofu that has been stir-fried. It makes for a well-rounded dinner. It's miles critical to well-rinse quinoa in advance, then cooking it. Due to the reality this eliminates the bitter saponins which can be present on the floor. Those saponins must have an impact on both flavor and digestion. Proceeding to cooking, does quinoa need to be rinsed? Does it make a distinction for you if that is the case? While searching out quinoa, it's miles endorsed to pick out pre-rinsed varieties or to rinse the quinoa yourself in order to dispose of any bitterness that can be present. choosing organic quinoa can each lessen the hazard of being exposed to insecticides, contribute to an primary development in health. One of the errors that want to be avoided is cooking quinoa with high sodium stock or flavor packets, due to the fact they're able to upload salt that isn't always exactly what's favored. Furthermore, the kidney high-quality effects of quinoa are mitigated while it is served with salty cheeses. Because of this, it is vital to cautiously test the labels of right now quinoa merchandise, due to the fact they often incorporate extra sodium or tastes. Now that we're given discussed proteins that you need to eat, we will switch our interest to proteins that you must underneath any events steer easy of. If you want to defend the health of your kidneys, the primary form of beef is a deceptive one that is frequently considered to be healthful. The bacon crafted from turkey, within the notion that turkey bacon is a greater nutritious opportunity than traditional bacon, many individuals choose for turkey bacon. However, it's miles exceedingly processed, has a substantial quantity of sodium, approximately 500 milligrams of sodium is contained in each slice already, that is greater than 20% of the each day restrict for a person who has kidney troubles at this component. Having an excessive amount of sodium motives fluid retention, and could increase blood strain, which places in addition pressure on kidneys, which may be already having trouble filtering waste in the precise way. Both the flavor and the shelf existence of turkey bacon are superior via the use of phosphate preservatives, similarly to sodium processed food, consist of phosphorus, that is absorbed via the body more quite in reality than phosphorus, that comes from natural assets. Because of this processed additives, boom, the phosphorus load extra speedy phosphorus degrees, which is probably too excessive, can purpose kidney impairment and bone issues to development. Extra short, due to the fact they disappointed the calcium stability within the frame. There are an entire lot of sufferers who are unaware that those compounds are concealed in devices which might be marketed as being healthy or low in fat. What styles of consequences have you ever placed due to consuming processed meats, which includes turkey bacon? Please, percentage your thoughts and reports on sodium and renal fitness within the declaration section. Underneath, the outstanding method to make certain your health is to move for sparkling herbal meals in region of processed alternatives. Are you of the opinion that the steerance necessities governing labeling ought to be extra stringent for those phosphate components? Please proportion your responses with me, transferring in advance. Pink lentils are often lauded for his or her nutritive plant-based totally protein content material, but kidney patients have to be privy to the hidden dangers associated with ingesting them, regardless of the reality that they will be derived from plants. Crimson lentils have an excessive density of every potassium and phosphorus, whilst you bear in mind that 1 cup of cooked red lentils contains greater than 350 milligrams of phosphorus and 700 milligrams of potassium. Kidneys, which aren't capable of maintaining the first-rate electrolyte stability, can also end up overwhelmed with the resource of the amount of these nutrients. It is simple to take too much them without being aware of the cumulative impact that they have on kidney workload. That is due to the truth that they are frequently applied in stews, soups and curries. Prolonged potassium stages can motive doubtlessly life-threatening coronary heart rhythm troubles on the same time as an excessive amount of phosphorus can hasten the lower of renal characteristic. People who've continual renal contamination need to pay near hobby, not best to the quantity of protein they devour, however, also to the minerals they devour. Are you a everyday eater who includes lentils into your weight reduction plan? How are you going to govern the quantity of potassium and phosphorus that you devour? By means of the use of handling the portion sizes. I am very interested in taking note of about your techniques inside the remarks segment. Under, please maintain in thoughts that the mere reality that something is derived from plants does now not continually guarantee that it is kidney first class. Subsequent allows take a higher look at hot dogs, a traditional comfort meal that many people attempt to persuade easy of at the same time as they are considering consuming healthily. Due to the excess levels of sodium nitrates, processed fat and phosphate additions that are discovered in warm dogs, they'll be particularly detrimental to the fitness of the kidneys. Nitrates of sodium that are used to color and maintain meat motive an increase inside the frame's acid load as well as infection. The immoderate acid makes kidney feature worse as it increases the amount of waste that the kidneys should clear out of the body. In addition to inflicting infection, this additionally reasons an increase in blood strain, which over time motives more damage to the kidneys. Warmth-handled lipids, which might be contained in hot dogs, are regularly oxidized and make contributions to oxidative stress. That's a superb contributor to kidney mobile damage. However, the reality that they may be fairly well known. Many human beings are unaware of the truth that warm dogs and different processed meats are most of the worst belongings of protein for kidney sickness. In phrases of your kidney feature, have you ever given any idea to the have an impact on that processed meats have depart a statement under collectively with your perspectives or memories, so you can keep kidney health in proper state of affairs. It is most suitable to consume clean lean meats or substitutes, which may be derived from plant life.
We can now speak whey protein isolates, which may be a famous supplement that is regularly advertised as a healthful way to growth. The quantity of protein that one consumes, the filtration load, this is placed at the kidneys is increased due to the notably excessive stages of phosphorus and nitrogen byproducts which may be decided in whey protein isolates, that is in particular the case, while the substance is eaten in immoderate portions or through the ones who have impaired renal function, the kidneys need to exert greater attempt as a manner to remove the nitrogen waste. This is produced due to the metabolism of these proteins, which may hasten the development of damage over the years. Wheat isolates in comparison to whole meal sources do now not comprise the balancing factors which are vital for kidney health, which includes fiber, antioxidants and nutrients. The ones vitamins help lessen infection and aid kidney health in fashionable. Many individuals are unaware of the truth that protein dietary thyroid supplements, no matter the fact that they may sell muscle boom, may be dangerous to kidneys if they may be not determined on with care. Are you familiar with the usage of whey protein?
Did you experience any modifications on your power levels or the fitness of your kidneys? I'd respect it if you may present your opinions with me by means of leaving a remark beneath it. Also includes most widely recognized to accumulate protein from whole food as the one's components are greater, mild of their assist of renal feature 2D, regardless of the truth that they come from plant life. Black beans in cans are a pantry staple that may be complex for people who've kidney feature troubles. Canning produces a massive growth in the quantity of salt and potassium. This is added to the beans. The potassium content material of 1 cup of canned black beans is over 600 mg. That could be a huge burden for individuals who have kidney impairment. This is the case even after draining the beans. The sodium stage of the canning liquid motives in a growth in blood strain, in addition to fluid retention, every of which might be negative to the health of the kidneys. People will be predisposed to eat large portions without being aware of the amount of potassium and sodium that they absorb via this approach. While it's miles possible to decrease the mineral content material fabric cloth of dried beans through soaking and rinsing them, canned beans are greater hard to govern and often include chemical materials that aren't results easily apparent. Which sort of beans do you choose, canned or dried, with regards to making ready beans? How do you address the salt and potassium ranges? Leave a assertion below and present your recommendation with me. A reduction within the one's risks may be performed with the useful resource of method of choosing canned beans with a low salt content material, fabric, or through well soaking dried beans. Beef steak, specifically lean cuts, is once in a while considered to be a healthy deliverer of protein. However, the reality that it is related to some of kidney associated worries that aren't without a doubt obvious: phosphorus and saturated fats, each of which contribute to the aggravation of renal disease, are discovered in incredibly immoderate concentrations in beef steak. The presence of saturated fat is related to an ingrowth in infection, similarly to the promoting of atherosclerosis, which motives blood arteries to emerge as constricted, and decreases the drift of blood to the kidneys. Excessive phosphorus attention has the capacity to hasten the development of bone and cardiac troubles, which might be ordinary of chronic renal illness. Further, the metabolism of red meat affects in the manufacturing of immoderate portions of uric acid, which also can purpose gout, a painful illness that is frequently determined in humans who have kidney disease due to the complicated protein and lipid profile of pork. Even lean cuts of beef inflict stress on the kidney's functionality to clear out through the blood. The invention that even mild portions of red meat can hasten the lower of renal function comes as a surprise to a terrific quantity of sufferer. This issue for you. What's your selected supply of protein close to kidney health? Do you try to limit your intake of beef? I'm very inquisitive about being attentive to your factor of view, so please specific a proper right here, which embody greater proteins, which might be favorable to the kidneys, can assist maintain feature for an extended time. Body now allows bypass our interest to a sincere ordinary, that you could have each day to complement all your dietary efforts. Strolling first. Difficulty in the morning right away after waking up on foot for 20 to half hour improves motion and could boom the quantity of oxygen. This is delivered to the kidneys. The kidneys are able to clear out waste greater correctly and experience a good bye. A great deal much less stress. On an ordinary foundation helps to preserve manage of blood sugar tiers and reduces blood pressure, each of which might be a number of the maximum essential elements that contribute to renal impairment. Taking walks permits flush out fluids, which have been held in an unmarried day, which in flip reduces swelling and improves kidney function every day. This is finished after a nighttime, time of relaxation. The glomerular filtration fee and insulin sensitivity are both stepped forward via morning physical exercise, according to analyze finished through the usage of institutes, along with the Cleveland Clinic. This has an immediate first-rate effect at the health of the kidneys, after introducing each day walks into their recurring patients. I even have labored with regularly, record feeling a whole lot less fatigued, experiencing lots less edema, and seeing in development of their mood to preserve the fitness of your kidneys. Have you ever tried going for a stroll inside the morning? In what processes did you recognize the blessings? You're welcome to percentage your revel in through the use of leaving a portion beneath mixed with a weight loss plan that is kidney incredible. This honest exercise has the capacity to make a tremendous impact to ensure that you are able to undergo in mind the most crucial subjects and proper away begin making adjustments, allows get everything collectively. Your quick precise is supplied right here. Egg whites provide you with excessive extraordinary protein that does not located your kidneys under any pressure. Additionally, tofu is a plant-based totally deliver that could assist inside the bargain of infection. The lean protein and occasional phosphorus content fabric of tilapia make it a fantastic desire for digestion that is easy as a supply of whole protein. Quinoa is beneficial to digestion and power levels. You've got to persuade easy of meals like turkey bacon, red lentils, heat dogs, whey isolates, canned black beans and beefsteak, considering all of them cause your kidneys to get overloaded. Not to say a stroll inside the morning is a great manner to get your kidneys off to a notable begin for the day. Click on the like button, depart us observation, and subscribe if you determine this to be of genuine gain. Inside the following video, I might also talk a rather little rely that